Hello everybody and welcome to Behind the Mind. As ever, I'm Chris Lees.
I'm Chris Phelan, and in today's video we're going to look at another top 5 ghost photographs that we found online and talk a little bit more about them, in some greater detail, so hope you enjoy.
Enjoy, thank you.
Number 5. Faces in the Water. At the end of 1924, an oil tanker called the SS Watertown sailed from California towards the Panama Canal en route to New Orleans and New York. Although the crew didn't know it, the tanker's name would end up being linked to one of the most curious and spooky seafaring legends since the Mary Celeste. The voyage was going as expected until two of the crew, James Courtney and Michael Meehan, were ordered to go and clean the cargo tank down in the ship's hold. Somehow fumes overcame both men and they died before help could reach them. Their deaths were ruled accidental. On the 4th of December, the Watertown's captain Keith Tracy ordered the two dead men to be buried at sea, their bodies being consigned to the deep after the appropriate service was held. But that wasn't the last the crew would see of the pair, for the very next day, the entire ship was thrown into an uproar when the first mate reported seeing Courtney and Meehan's faces in the water off the port side of the ship. Reportedly, the two apparitions could be seen for about 10 seconds, wordlessly bobbing about in the Pacific's choppy waters before dissipating into nothingness.
Number 4. The Back Seat Ghost. Mrs. Mabel Chinnery was visiting the grave of her mother one day in 1959. She had brought along her camera to take photographs of the gravesite. After snapping a few shots of her mother's gravestone, she took an impromptu photograph of her husband, who was waiting alone in the car. At least, the Chinnerys thought he was alone. When the film was developed, the couple was more than surprised to see a figure wearing glasses sitting in the back seat of the car. Mrs. Chinnery immediately recognised the image of her mother, the woman whose grave they had visited only on that day. A photographic expert who examined the print determined that the image of the woman was neither a reflection nor a double exposure. "I stake my reputation on the fact that the picture is genuine," he testified.
Number 3. The White Lady of Worsted. In August 1975, this picture was taken by Peter Berthelot while he and his family were visiting the Church of St Mary's in the sleepy Norfolk village, Worsted. At the time the shutter clicked, there was no one behind his wife Diane. It was only after he had the film developed and then put on a slideshow at the couple's home in Chelmsford, Essex, that they noticed the ghoulish figure. It looked as if she was wearing old-fashioned clothes. Diane recalls, "When we saw the white figure sitting behind me on the projector screen, we just stood there with our mouths open." When they returned the following year to show the vicar the slide, he told them about the legend of the White Lady, which dates back centuries. Diane believes the ghost is a healing influence. She says that when she originally sat in the church, she had a strange tingling sensation and credits the spirit with keeping her healthy ever since.
Number 2. The Ghost of Freddy Jackson. This photograph was taken in 1919 and was first published in 1975 by Sir Victor Goddard, a retired RAF officer. The photo is a group portrait of Goddard's squadron, which had served in World War I at the HMS Daedalus training facility. An extra ghostly face appears in the photo. At the back of the airman positioned on the top row, 4th from the left, you can clearly see the face of another man. It is said to be the face of Freddy Jackson, an air mechanic who had been accidentally killed by an aeroplane propeller 2 days earlier. His funeral had taken place on the day this photograph was snapped. Members of the squadron easily recognised the face as Jackson's. It had been suggested that Jackson, unaware of his death, decided to show up for the group photo.
Number 1. The Tulip Staircase Ghost. Reverend Ralph Hardy, a retired clergyman from White Rock, British Columbia, took this now famous photograph in 1966. He intended merely to photograph the elegant spiral staircase, known as the Tulip Staircase, in the Queen's House section of the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich, England.
Upon development, however, the photo revealed a shrouded figure climbing the stairs, seeming to hold the railing with both hands. Experts, including some from Kodak, who examined the original negative, concluded that it had not been tampered with. It's been said that the unexplained figures have been seen on occasion in the vicinity of the staircase, and unexplained footsteps have also been heard.
Some people think there is more than one person seen on the staircase. Both are hooded with their heads held low. They seem to struggle as they make their way up the stairs.
I'd like to say thank you to each and every one of you for watching this episode.
We hope you've enjoyed it. As always, be sure to like, subscribe and share on our YouTube and Facebook page if you've enjoyed what you've seen.
Be sure to tune in the future, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Behind the Mic.